It's definitely the hardest part of this job, getting attached to the residents and then losing them. When I came into this job, I thought, oh, this is going to be a bit daunting because I hadn't dealt with death a lot. It still doesn't get any easier. To watch them pass away, I think you get very attached to the resident. You become the resident's family, while their loved ones can't be here. You know, they can't be as often as they want to be. So you become their family and you get super attached, and dealing with death isn't the most pleasant of things. It's a bit of a cliche to say you get used to it, because you don't ever get used to it because they're all different. I have dealt with care workers that become quite upset that because there are certain residents you become more attached to, some that you've spent more time with them. It's human. We all have to deal with it too.
The man that I used to look after who's passed away, I looked after him for 9.5 years. He was my friend, not just someone that I cared for, he was my friend. The family put him into a nursing home. As he didn't want to go. I mean, he knew he had to, but he didn't want to when he did have to go to the nursing home. And it was really nice of my work. They let me go for the last visit, and that was the day that he was going. That was nice. I went and I stayed a little bit, and then when they come to, I think the ambulance came to take him. Yeah, so I was the first one in and the last one to leave the house. So that was nice. But I can't explain it, but we just got along so well. Nothing was an effort, like nothing's an effort for me to do anyway for anybody, and I miss him. I mean, he hasn't been gone that long. It's only been 7 months or something that he's been gone, but I do miss him. So the last time I seen him, I said, I'll better go. I'll come back and see you for your birthday, which was coming up in 5 weeks. He says, all right then, I'll see you then. I said, all right. And then the next day, his son and daughter-in-law rang me and said he was passed away. And I pulled over, I had to pull over on the side of the road. I was really, really upset about that. They didn't have to ring me and tell me, like I'm a no one to, really. I'm just someone that cared for their father. They didn't have to let me know. I could have, learnt about it in the paper or waited for the work to ring me or whatever, but they didn't. So, they respected me as well. So I felt that was lovely of them. It was so beautiful when I went to the funeral. It was only a little funeral, but all his family, like I've heard everything about them. I haven't met all of them, but they all knew who I was. And they were all so happy and grateful. And we finally meet you, because he always spoke about me, always. The gentleman of all gentlemen. He really, really was absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
I think it's very important to acknowledge the loss of a resident, because effectively it's impacting on you, because you have cared about the resident and you may have had a special relationship or lots of memories, and how do they go on to care for the next resident that takes that room.
When I lost George, I think it's a natural process to grieve for his loss. So when I lost him, it's like I lost a family member. It's really something that I wasn't expecting. So I haven't really talked with someone else about it. So I just basically let it go naturally, but I found out that it's still there. He passed away for almost 10 months. But I think I'm still grieving. I guess I'll soon get through it. It was very difficult. For a week, I think I was not able to go to work. My care coordinator has been trying to give me 24-hour shift, but I would always try to convince myself that I'm busy with something else. But I think deep inside, I don't want to establish a relationship again that, would end up like that. I don't want to lose someone again. It's really hard to maintain that professional boundary that they always remind us to do. But dealing with human is not like dealing with numbers or something. So it's really hard.
It takes a toll on you mentally and physically. If you've lived in their house for, say, 2 or 3 years, 3 days a week, 24 hours a day, they become part of your family. Once they die, it's like you've lost a part of yourself, because you've given so much to that person. I have had clients like that, but I can take that step back. I never get that emotionally involved that, once they've gone, I'm totally devastated. I believe in life and I believe in death, and I think death is good.
You learn to cope, but everybody is different, so... And I feel everyone on my team Yeah, we do cope. We cope really well. We just, you know, we chat. Yeah, we get upset. We will cry. A lot of the times, if we're allowed to, we go to the funeral, which is nice because it's sort of like, you know, then it's closure for us, and the family are normally happy to see us there. So it's nice to be allowed to go to the funeral.
As time got on, I went on another block of placement, and then our care coordinator let everyone know that Mary had gone into hospital for palliative, and we could go and visit her if we wanted to. The family was very happy if we wanted to go and say our goodbyes and things. At that time, my grandpa had just passed away like a week ago, so I didn't feel like I really wanted to go through that again. So I put it off as much as I could, and then I went in, and just seeing the family be so happy to see me just made me realise that I definitely should have done this. So I was really happy that I went in to the hospital, and then I sat around with Mary on the bed, and we did the Hail Mary together and the rosaries. We just talked and just comforted Mary's husband because he found it very difficult, and then, yeah, said goodbye and left, yeah. I'm very glad that I went and said goodbye because you don't realise that you make a bond with someone like that much. You don't expect to go into someone's house and just be their carer. You end up being their friend as well.
It's hard to find that line where you don't get too attached to them. But then at the end of the day, I always think, well, at least you made the last bit of their life better, and you can walk out of there knowing that you made them comfortable and you made them happy, and it might have pulled on your heartstrings a bit, but at least that you can know that you know you've done a good job and helped them. It does make you sad, but at the same time it makes you happy. And I think you learn to look at it that way, because if you just looked at the sad side of it, it'd be too sad. So you got to be a little bit strong with yourself and just look at all the positive things of it. It's okay to have a little cry now and again if you lose someone, but I think the main thing is just to focus on the positives, what you've done for them, and if you weren't there, you know, would they been as comfortable and happy, and yeah.
I think we've all got our own strategies, and so I'd encourage care staff to acknowledge the toll and the pain of the loss. Some way of completing that relationship is important, whether it be a ritual or just even intrinsic to how you just manage and keep on going.
Having the insight to know what is happening for you emotionally and physically, being in tune with how you're emotionally responding, because once we're aware of whether we're struggling or not, whether we're coping or not, we're then in a position to make the required changes. Awareness can be the difference between managing our emotions and being overwhelmed by them, I suppose. So having that insight is really important.
Everybody has their own timetable with grief and loss. So I think the most important thing is to make sure that you're available. If they need to ring you, they can.
If people are really struggling and not managing when a resident has died, I think speaking to their manager or their supervisor is really important, because sometimes you do need more help, and it's a good thing to reach out for help. And I think it's a good way to model to each other that getting help or asking for help or needing help is okay, that we are all in this together, that you're not on your own. I think that would be good for care staff to consider.